In Brussels, it varies. I mean, we have an office now, which we opened in May of this year, and that has become the centre of our lobbying activity. So it means that Sir Graham Watson, who heads the office, and his team over there will, for example, be in daily contact with members of the European Parliament, with the European Commission, also with the European Council and with member states. I mean, there is a lot of interest in Gibraltar in Brussels, but part of that has been due to the misinformation being put around by Spain over so many years. So whether it's to do with our financial services, whether it's to do with the issues like taxation, even with aviation or with the waters issue, and indeed with the border, Spain has always been putting across the wrong point of view, or a slanted point of view, as it suits them. And it's been up to us, up to the office in Brussels, the government, the visits we carry out 2 or 3 times a year to counteract the Spanish position. So, for example, there's one major visit that takes place to Brussels every year, and the Chief Minister goes and I go, and we both of us put across the Gibraltar point of view. Apart from that, I tend to go 3 or 4 times a year anyway, separately, to continue that lobbying campaign. I think you have to understand that lobbying is an ongoing process. It's not something that you do overnight once and then you stop. You need to carry on, and you need to convince people, and it takes a lot of time. I mean, you sow the seeds, and it may take years for those seeds to grow, but it happens at the end. And we are certainly very confident that what we're carrying out in Brussels is a positive campaign. We're explaining our position to the people that matter, and that at the end, Gibraltar will win. But obviously, it's a question of time, and it's a question of getting there. It's not instant. Well, certainly it's absolutely shameful that Spain signed an agreement at Córdoba in 2006 whereby they said they would no longer seek the exclusion of Gibraltar Airport from European civil aviation legislation. So that was signed in 2006. When the new Spanish government came in, the Partido Popular, in 2011, they took a different position, which is that they were going to start objecting once again to Gibraltar's inclusion in European civil aviation legislation. Our position is very clear. Gibraltar Airport is part of the European Union. It is an EU airport, and therefore passengers travelling through it are entitled to exactly the same rights as passengers travelling through any other airport of the European Union. You cannot have more rights travelling from Malaga or from Heathrow than you would have travelling through Gibraltar. Spain has tried to exclude us from it. I mean, there are now a number of EU aviation measures which are held up for the whole of Europe, precisely because of Spain, and because Spain has changed her position. It's an area that when we go to Brussels, we lobby extensively on. We've met members of the Transport Committee of the European Parliament to explain our position. We've met the Transport Commissioner herself in order to make sure that our position is understood at the highest level. And that is that this is not held up because of anything Gibraltar has done. It is not held up by anything the United Kingdom has done. It's held up purely and simply by Spain, and purely and simply for political reasons, because once again, in the European Union, we are all entitled to certain rights. I mean, when Gibraltar joined the EU in 1973, there were certain areas of EU law which we were excluded from. One of those, for example, was the customs union. Another one was VAT, the common agricultural policy. But under our terms of membership of the EU treaty, we are not excluded from civil aviation. So our argument is to exclude Gibraltar from EU civil aviation legislation would be illegal. It's also the position of the United Kingdom, and I have to say that to date, certainly, the UK has maintained a firm position. You'll remember that last year the UK's transport minister walked out of a meeting of European transport ministers precisely because of the Gibraltar issue and because he wasn't happy at the way it was being put across in that meeting. So, and the UK doesn't do that kind of thing lightly. So obviously it's a red line issue for them, and we're happy that it is. And it's also a red line issue for us. Gibraltar Airport has to be included in European civil aviation legislation. We've done a lot across the board. I mean, the meetings of the Development and Planning Commission, which were closed to the general public, are now open. The board of the Gibraltar Health Authority, for example, now meets in public as well. Parliament, which is the centre of our democracy, we've completely revolutionised and transformed the way in which Parliament operates. We've done that by televising the meetings, by having more meetings in a year, by publishing Hansard in a timely manner. Hansard used to take a year or months before it was published. So we've carried out a transformation in the way Gibraltar operates from a democratic point of view, and that's happened across the board. I think that you should vote for the GSP Liberals for 2 reasons. One is for our record. In other words, look at what we've done since 2011 to 2015, and you'll find it's a complete revolution all over the way Gibraltar works. We've done that in democracy, in terms of improving Parliament, in improving and making public meetings of the Development and Planning Commission, in answering questions from the press before press questions weren't even answered, in answering letters and information from the general public. But we've done that also in terms of delivering what we promised. We set out in 2011 with a very ambitious manifesto, and we've delivered it. We said we would build 1,000 flats for our people, and you have 1,000 affordable homes and homes for rental for the elderly. We said we would build a small boats arena, and the marina is there, you can see it. We said we would build schools, and we've built 2 new schools. We promised the University of Gibraltar. It's now there, it's a reality. So people should vote for us, first of all, for our record, for what we've done. And secondly, they should vote for us because of what we're going to do. We've spelt out in this manifesto. And it's, again, a very ambitious manifesto, but we've shown we can deliver. For example, things which will affect people at a human level as well. We've said that chemotherapy treatment for people who need it will now be made available in Gibraltar. At the moment, people have to travel to the United Kingdom. They have to travel to Spain for that treatment. Now, it will be available locally. We've promised 1,700 more homes for our people. Again, we've proved we can deliver, and we have delivered. So again, vote for us because of what we've done over the last 4 years. Vote on our record, but vote because of what we're going to do as well.